Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. How are you doing tonight? All right, so tonight I am going to do a little flip of the script. So I did say I was going to do point slope and then equation line, but then someone told me a little bit that they need some assistance with the interval notation. So I just said, all right, what am I doing? Nothing. So this is what we're going to do, interval notation. All right? Why not? I mean, what else am I going to be blessedly doing? Nothing much. So if you probably said, hey, Audrey, you tried to get on earlier? I did, because I was playing around with the camera, and the next thing you know, I was already going live. So yeah, I quickly turned that off. So I would love to see the analytics on that one. So anyway, what we are going to be doing is interval notation. Let me see if I can find all of my stuff. All right, so it's an extension to what we were doing yesterday. And just to repeat for those that were not here yesterday, we were working on inequalities, okay? So just graphing inequalities. So what happens when you have an inequality and you're trying to do it, what's called the interval notation? It's kind of like shorthand a little bit. You know, when we're graphing, we had the open circle and I like how they said the closed dot. So very similar. So if your answer is less than or greater than, what you're going to use, so I'm going to draw my lovely little arrows. So what you're going to use is parentheses. You're like, what? So parentheses means it's unbounded, okay? It can get as close as it can to that number, but will never really equal it. Now, the other one, when you have less than or equal to, or even greater than or equal to, we are looking at brackets. So brackets meaning it's bounded. So it's including that point. So it almost looks like a cage. So if you're keeping something inside the cage, you know, they can't really get out. This is kind of looking like a bubble. You know, if you had the boy in the bubble and you can kind of push on the bubble and it extends out a little bit, but it doesn't really necessarily break. Now, main rules that you have to understand: negative infinity and also even positive infinity, they always get parentheses each and every time. All right, so it doesn't matter if it's a positive infinity or a negative infinity, they always have parentheses, because infinity, there's no end, there's no bound to it, okay? So no restriction. So this is what we are doing. So we're going to do a little review of solving inequalities. Okay, most of them are going to be basically with one variable. But let's refresh our memory. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Okay, so let's take a look at, I'm going to see if I can zoom in. So we have x plus 1 plus 4 is less than or equal to 9. I know, not too mind-blowing, but we just want to get you guys all nice and warmed up. And my phone has been acting up like kinds of crazy. All right, so I don't know, just doesn't want to zoom. Okay, fine. This is how we're going to do it. So if we want to solve this, first off, we have like terms right smack here in the middle. Boom. Okay, they're on the same side. So we're thinking of an inequality almost as a boundary. So we'll always look to see what we can combine. So in this case, we have our x, And 1 plus 4, not to insult you, it's going to be plus 5. All right? Then we're bringing down our less than or equal to 9. Now, for our next step, we're going to subtract this 5. When we subtract 5, we do it on both sides of the inequality. So 5 minus 5 gives me 0, but I do not need that placeholder because I still have an x on the same side. Then since I just subtracted both sides, we're not dividing or multiplying by a negative number, so we do not need to change the direction of the sign. So therefore, we have 9 minus 5, that gives us 4. So now here, if I were to kind of look at it from like an inequality, I'm going to put my little symbols here. I'm going to use both sides. So since we only have the one number, which is our 4, you could set up the whole entire number line, but it's not necessary all the time. So normally, and I'm going to put underneath here, this is working with the inequality. So if I said this, x is less than or equal to 4, since it has that equal to, that means it's going to be a dot on the 4. And now I need to figure out which way I'm going to shade. Since it's x is less than or equal to 4, that means 4 is going to be my highest. So I'm looking at numbers that are less than. All right? But this is what we did yesterday. What we're going to do today is the interval notation. So major thing that I want to add to this formula that we really need to know is that you always start with your lowest number. So it's always your lowest, then your highest, okay? Or the number that you're going up to. All right? So if we were to do this for interval notation, my lowest number is actually going to be negative infinity. Because remember, it keeps going all the way to negative infinity. So if I'm doing the interval notation, I'm going to put that right here. So with the interval notation, we always start with the lowest number, which is going to be negative infinity. And we're going to go up to our highest number, which in this case is going to be 4. Because we're only going up to and including 4. So negative infinity, hey, it's infinity. There's no bound. That's why there's a parenthesis. But the 4, it was including the 4. So since it's including the 4, we're going to have a bracket. Okay. All right. Okay. So this is what's interval notation. Because usually you'll see a lot of this, especially like pre-calc. I saw a lot in pre-calc. I saw a few in Algebra 2. Actually, quite a few in Algebra 2. So it's like almost shorthand. Shorthand of shorthand. All right. All right. Well, thank you for the lovely handwriting. Easy to follow. Exactly. Right? Okay, let me backtrack and actually say hello to people like a human being, right? Hello, bundles of blessing. Hey, Roughnut, how are you? Okay, Shay's walking and working with me. Good. Hello, Paul. Honey 30s and others can't do this. I know, it's fun. It's fun. All right, voice lessons. Lovely handwriting. Well, thank you. All right, good. All right, my son is going into 10th grade. Do they do this? Is he going into geometry? Did he just complete geometry, or is he going into geometry? Or algebra 2? Sorry, that's where it says. Because I don't know, Shay. Okay. Because sometimes some teachers will do it in Algebra 1. They usually introduce it possibly towards the end of the year. And some teachers don't. So that's the only reason why I'm asking. Okay. Just finished algebra? Okay, so he's probably going to go into geometry next. Unless you're in Maryland. I don't think you're in Maryland. Are you in Maryland? If you are in Maryland, they're thinking about changing the structure of our math. So it hasn't been approved yet. So be on the lookout, people, for Math 1, Math 2, and then they can jump in and do whatever they want for third and fourth year of math. It's all kinds of fun. All kinds of Kookaboo Johnson. All right, so let's do another one. Feel like Khalid. Okay. So let me step up the pace a little bit. So let's take a look. I know, sorry, it's very far away. For some reason, my phone doesn't want to zoom. So I'm like, you know what? You don't feel like it. That's fine. I'm not going to push it. So we got that. Minus 9 is greater than negative 12. 9 plus 8x. All right. So just like Georgia. Okay. Yeah, I think he's going into geometry next, to be honest with you, Shay. So not quite yet. This was calculus. I never understood doing proofs. Oh, God. Proofs. I was really happy the 1 year that I was teaching geometry and they decided not to teach proofs. It was a glorious 2 years of my life. And then they brought it back like hot pants and I was like, ugh. Like, let it go. I know. Because there's so many different ways that you can prove. And of course, with me being a tutor, if you don't do it exactly the way that teacher wants it, it's almost like, dude, there's like multiple ways of you getting the same way to prove that your figure here is a rectangle or your figure here is two parallel lines cut with a transversal. And that CPCTC corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. So it's all kinds of fun. Now, for this, don't get overwhelmed, okay? I had another sheet of paper. I don't know where it went, but we're just going to do this. Anytime they give you a problem like this, here's my suggestion. Cover up one side, okay? Cover up one side. So when we're covering up this one side, the first thing that I see is I got distributive property, okay? So 12 times 10, that gives me 120, and there's an x involved, so 120x. All right, bring down my minus. 12 times 9, what was that, 108? Okay, hey C4. Yeah, there's so many ways. You are so right. Okay, so right. So now we have our greater than symbol. So I'm just going to bring that bad boy down because we didn't cross any lines. And now we have the other side. Again, just going to cover this up. Now, let me ask you guys, does the covering up help you? You know, like, does it really help you? I know some of you guys are like, yeah, I'm fine with it because you're probably advanced. But I'm talking to those that, you know, haven't seen this for a minute, want to break it down a bit. Okay, it does help. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, immensely. All right, good. because anything to lessen the stress will work. So again, this time we have a negative 12 times 9. This gives me a negative 108. Thank you, whoever said that. I think it was Shay. Yeah, thank you, Shay. All right. Then we have a negative 12 times 8 this time. So it will be a negative 96x. All right. So now that we did that, we can take this away a bit. So now we want to make sure we get our x's on the same side. So it's up to you. Me personally, I would like to have my x's on the left-hand side. But again, if you feel wild and free and you want to put it on the right, it's fine. I know there's a lot of teachers that said, put all the x's on the left. It really doesn't matter. You're going to get the same answer. It's like all these little things that people put in our brains for no reason. All right. So if I move my negative 96x, I have to do the inverse. So that's why I'm adding 96x on both sides. So I know a lot of people are like, okay, well, what about the 108? Well, if I'm moving my x's to the left, that means this 108, I can move to the right. And since it's a minus 108, I'm going to add 108 to both sides. Okay, so these 108s cancel out. But then over here, we have, sorry, let me cover you guys up. So we have 120 plus our 96. And that gives us, 216. I know I've been doing math most of the day. I'm starting to get cray. Okay, so we got 216 here. Now, since we just basically did some addition, we didn't divide or multiply by a negative, so my direction of sign is the same. But everything cancels out over here, right? But we need to even things out. This is when we need that 0 as a placeholder. Okay? That's when we need that 0. So anytime you're like, oh, well, over here it canceled out. I'm like, yes, but we still had that 120 plus 96x to deal with. Whereas over here, everything cancels out. So we need that 0 as a placeholder. So I think we all know what the answer is because we're going to divide both sides by 216. And 0 divided by 216, that'll give me 0. And since, well, it doesn't even matter, we're not changing direction of sign because we divided by a positive 216. So that's x is greater than 0. So that's our inequality. So if you want, we can graph that so we can see it. So here's my next question. Open or closed? Okay, open or closed? Okay, so I got open circle with Shay, open with Daniel. Hello, Daniel. Nice to see you. Open with bundles of blessings. Danny saying open. Hello, Danny. God is good. How are you? Open. Bailey's open. Candy Girl open. Oh, Abigail open. Good job, guys. Love it. All right. So we are going to have our open circle. Okay. But which way am I going to shade? Baby, thank you. Which way am I going to shade? Okay, Shay's saying to the right. Daniel's saying to the right. Bundles to the right. Candy Girl to the right. Bailey to the right. Whoa, to the right. Norm? Is it Norm with a K? Abigail to the right, Danny to the right, God is good to the right, Rachel to the right, baby to the right. I know. I remember when I was in the classroom, every time we did this, if we had to go to the left, we all know what was happening. That's why I don't like the song anymore. All right. Now, that was with the inequality. Let me shift over a little bit. You're like, did she just say? No. I know. Everybody tried to get me. God knows I wanted to say it so many times today. Bless it. All right. But now I'm going to show you how to graph with the interval notation. So let's think about it. We're looking at when x is greater than 0. What's my lowest number? Okay, if x is going to be greater than 0. Okay. It's not going to include 0, but it should be. There we go, Shay. Because x is positive. Good, Miss Mary. Thank you. All right, the direction of the line. All right, so 0 is still involved. Okay, 1 will be making a true statement. So is 2, so is 3, so is 2.58, so is 1,264. All the way up to positive infinity. So, although, Shay, don't change your answer, put it right back. Although we're not including 0, but 0 is going to be my lowest number. And we're going all the way to positive infinity. Okay? Again, positive infinity, that's unbounded. But since my 0 is not included, that's also a parenthesis. Okay? So it's not going to be 1. It's still going to be involving 0 because that's what we got for our solution. So we're just not going to put a boundary on 0. It will be unbounded. You can get as close to 0 as you can, but it's not going to equal 0. Okay? So this is what's going to happen. Since it's on 0, let me use a different color. It's going to be a parenthesis. I know, it looks crazy. But you're going to shade all the way to positive infinity. That's it. Oh, thanks for checking in. Hello, Lynette. Okay. So, Dean, what's wrong with it? Come, tell me. 0 equals nothing. But 0 is a placeholder, dear heart. Okay. 0 is a placeholder. And that's what we're using it for, as a placeholder. Love the colors. They help me remember. Yes. I tried to change the colors to kind of do that, to help you remember and to keep track of your steps. Because when it's all one color, sometimes it gets all kinds of Kookaboo Johnson. All right. In my page, I think everyone. All right. So, explain more. So, anyway. All right, so if I wanted to kind of go back to that first question and I wanted to graph that, okay, again, we're going to be using 4. I'm just going to stick 4 right there in the middle. Now for this one, my lowest number was negative infinity, and we were stopping at 4, but we included the 4. So the way that I would graph that, again, I'm going to graph the bracket and open to the way that I'm going to shade. And we went all the way down to negative infinity. Okay, So you always open whatever is a bracket or a parenthesis. I think you can get both of them in there. The way towards the way that you're going to shade. All right. How are we feeling? All right, so let's take a look. Let's take a gander. One, proud of you guys with the solving. Good job. I could have easily just thrown you to the wolves. But, you never know. All right, so let's try this one as soon as I can find my pens. I have like 60 million two pens sitting around me. And it's like, find the pen. All right, so let me slide this up so y'all can see. That would be beneficial. All right, so let's try. Okay, let's try this one. Why not? I have faith in you. I can hear the sighs all the way over here. I'm in Baltimore. All of a sudden, it was like, huh. I'm glad you have faith in us, but I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, you do. Take it step by step. And remember, I'm not here to judge. Okay? I'm not here to judge at all. All we're doing, oh, sorry, this is supposed to be an X. I want that to be an X. Minus 29. So my lollipop X is really just an X. Leanne! Are you a teacher? I am. Yep. I decided to leave the classroom about 5 years ago. I'm finishing my 5th year of online tutoring. I just got tired of all the shenanigans, Ranger. All right. Hey, Reed. How are you? Okay. Oh, and Creation is here? Oh, everybody's coming out the woodwork. I think you come on Thursdays. Thursdays and possibly Fridays, if I recall correctly. All right, Blue. Well, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for the taps, everyone, and the gifts. I mean, thank you. All right, so Daniel saying X less than or equal to, hold on, let me get my cursor out the way, equal to -2. All right, let's see. I'm okay. Just really, yeah, okay. I feel a little lifted. All right, so Danny's saying X less than or equal to -20. Ooh, okay. Got a little competition. Oh, well, oh, no, now we got the same. I was like X less than or equal to -2. I was like, oh, I was expecting a battle royale. I was like, ooh, let's see. Well, welcome everyone that's coming in. For those who are probably like, how did this get in my FYP? Welcome. Remember that one time you were looking at maybe one of my videos and you didn't know that math was going to go into it? Yes, not a problem. But anyway, welcome in. My name is Audrey Codner. I am the owner of ACG Math Tutoring. I tutor students from 7th grade all the way up to adults. So if you are thinking about getting your GED, your Accuplacer, your ASVAB, this is the live for you because they do have interval notation in there. And I was talking to an awesome young lady, got a new person to help out with her education. And we were just talking about like why, like she's trying to be a nurse and like, why do I have to do algebra? And I'm just nursing. All I'm doing is diagnosis and all this stuff. Why do I gotta learn all this stuff? And I said, you know what? To be honest with you, it's a way to filter people out as well. So, you know, a lot of people are going to community colleges. A lot of people want to be able to, pursue a career. But, when you get a lot of people, this is one way that we can separate the haves and the have-nots. Throw a couple, because now one of my former students, she went for a, a receptionist job. And in the interview questions was an algebra problem. So she was like, I was doing algebra for this job. And I'm like, I know, it's crazy. It is wackadoos. Well, it's not going to be too hard. When you look at the whole thing, yes, it's intimidating. But let's cover up to that inequality and just focus on the one side. So the first thing that I'm seeing is we need to distribute. Let's distribute this -3 inside that parenthesis. So -3 times -7, that will give me my positive 21x. And then -3 times -6 would also give me a positive, but this time 18. Okay, because a negative times a negative gives me a positive, and then negative times a negative gives me a positive. So now all we have to do is just bring down my -7. Okay. All right, so yes, Katie, yes, we're going to distribute that. So once we got rid of the parentheses, now we're looking for like terms. So I notice that 18 and -7, neither one of them has a variable. So we can combine that. There you go, Katie. That's it. So we have our, where is it? We have our 21x, and then we have plus 11. Yep. Yes, so you multiply that -3 to everything inside the parenthesis. All right. Then you got lost. Okay. Now, let's go to the other side. So now we have our less than. So we're going to bring down that less than symbol. And we have an x, not a lollipop, okay, minus 29. The reason why we're bringing that down, because they're not like terms. One's an x, one doesn't have an x. Unlike terms, so if you can't break it down, we're going to bring it down. So now, don't worry about what's going on up top. Now we want to get our x's. We got one on one side, one on the other. And we have to make a choice between where do we want to put our x's. Guys, this is not Squid Games. You're not going to be offed if you pick the wrong side, because you're going to end up with the same exact answer. If you don't believe me, I will do it both ways. Okay? So let's do it one way first. So if I subtract this x, okay, I'm going to put that over here. So we have our 21x. We have our plus 11. And we brought down less than x minus 29. And then from here, I'm going to subtract x on both sides. All right. Okay. So 21x minus 1x, that gives me 20x. With our plus 11, less than negative 29. So if I'm claiming my x's to be on the left-hand side, that means this constant, that 11, that needs to go on the other side. So in order for me to do that, I have to do the inverse. So it's negative 11 on both sides. So 11 minus 11, They cancel out, give me 0, but I don't need the 0 because I still have the 20x on this side of the equal sign. All right. And then since we did not multiply or divide by a negative number, so now we have negative 29, negative 11. Both of them are negative. So that means my answer is going to be negative, and I'm going to add these two together. All right, so that gives me 40, a negative 40. So when the signs are the same, you're basically adding them. When the signs are different, you're subtracting, and you're taking the sign of the largest number. Okay, still good for now? All right, okay. So now, let's cover all this fun stuff up. So let's focus here. What do I need to do so I can get x by itself? Put it in the chat. Okay, so Katie's saying now divide by 20. Okay, and exciting. Divide by 20, C4 divide, good. I've been taught wrong. Oh, bank. Oh, they're a different bank. Okay, by 20s. Okay, we're going to add. We're going to divide. All right, we're going to divide. We're going to simplify. All right. So, 20x, if I look in between the 20 and the x, I don't see a plus or a minus sign. That means this is multiplication. All right. So it's like you and your boo. You're the x, there's your boo. Your boo messed up. Started dancing on the tables, acting all kinds of crazy, act like she ain't got no sense, or he. So you need to divide that person out of your life. Okay, 20 divided by 20 gives me 1, but it's 1x. So I just need this x. Since I divide by a positive 20, my inequality sign does not change. And then negative 40 divided by 20, if you want to cancel out the zeros, you can. So now you can just look at it as negative 4 divided by 2, which gives me a negative 2. Okay, yep, send your friends to the other side. Get kicked to the curb. All right. So what happened, Jamie? I'm seeing like, oh yeah, I was wrong. What happened? What's going on? How many steps was that? I know. Well, see, don't forget creation. You know I like to go step by step. So sometimes I do every step. And there's going to be some things after you get used to this for a while that you can skip. So just, give yourself some grace. Okay. So what are we looking at? Hey, Peacekeeper. We are basically breaking down inequalities so we can look at interval notation. But for this one, I'm trying to make a point for this one. So that's one way. Like I said, you got two ways of doing things. So if I rewrite it, let's say it's going to be 21x plus 11 is less than x minus 29. All right, so this time we subtracted x. This time I'm going to subtract the 21x. And you're like, ooh, I know, dangerous. She just be living on the edge. She just don't care. It's either attractive or you're like, this chick is crazy. All right, so we got negative 20x. Then we have our minus 29. So if I brought the x to the right-hand side, that means I need to bring this 29 to the left-hand side. Okay, they cancel out, leaving me with 0. But I don't need the 0 because I still have that negative 20x. So we have 11 plus 29 Again, that's 40. You're starting to see how it's starting to evolve into what we just did. But the only thing that was different is this time our 20 is negative and our 40 is positive. But if you divide both sides by negative 20, we still get our negative 2. But this time it's saying negative 2 is less than x. Do they mean the same thing? Okay. Do they mean the same thing? If you bring down the less than equal to after 7. Oh, thank you. You probably guys was all saying that. Forgot to put the sign underneath. Oops. Thank you. Thank you. So, okay, let's try it again. Do they look, do they mean basically the same? No, they aren't the same. Okay. You need to change the inequality, okay? Depending on what side you're trying to get the work to change the variable. Those aren't the same. I'm just spitballing, okay? Because if we're saying x is less than or equal to negative 2, all right? So we're looking at the numbers that are less than negative 2. But if we're saying negative 2 is greater than or equal to, that means negative 2 is the biggest. So in some technicality, you basically got the same stuff going on. So you have your negative 2. You have your negative 2. Wonder if you guys can see it. Okay. So this one I'm going to use with the inequality. Open or closed? Open or closed? Closed. Closed. Bundles got it. Matt got it. Candy Girl saying closed. April saying close. Reed saying close. Okay. Since it's that equal to, it's going to be closed. But since it's less than or equal to, that means we're dealing with numbers that are less than negative 2. Okay, so that's then. So this one is saying negative 2 is less than or equal to x. Has anyone told me? There it is. Bundles, what did I forget to do? Let me see if someone else said it. Let me back up because I want to give people credit. Yep, Bundle said it earlier, which I missed. I don't know why I'm just getting that. I think Bundles, you just said it twice. What did I forget to do? Oh, change the sign. Because why? See, this is what teachers do. We be faking it. We're like, yeah. Anytime I multiply or divide by a negative number, I have to change the inequality symbol. So this is actually going to be negative 2 is greater than or equal to x. So that means negative 2 is the biggest number. So it's including, so it's going to be a bracket, and it's going in the same direction. Yep, I had to flip the sign. Now it's the same. Yep, now it's the same. Okay. And all right, so Bundles and Blessings and Danny, they're both saying, just in case, let me take a quick scroll. Yep, they're both saying we started at negative infinity. We're going up to negative 2. And it's a parenthesis at the negative infinity and a bracket at negative 2. Excellent. Smallest number always goes first. And where we end up is what goes next. And since it's equal to, it's a bracket. Infinities, regardless if it's positive or negative, it's always going to be a parenthesis. Also reverse the step above. Which step above, LB? Math is a puzzle. Yes, it is. And its own language and everything. Math lesson is your least favorite? Me personally would be statistics. I don't like it. But I do it. I don't like it. What is that bracket thing called? Bracket? No. So the bracket is for when you have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. It's very similar to when we were doing inequalities and you have the dot. It's just replacing it because it's called the interval notation. That's what we're working on today. Sorry, I didn't mean to be a smart butt. Do I understand chem math? No. But if you need assistance with it, you should meet up with Professor TK. She's awesome with it. That is her jam. So anything with chemistry, Professor TK, she actually was on today at 10 a.m. I know she goes live at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Yes, interval notation. Okay. Differential equations, yeah, I'm not a fan. And also calculus, that's just not my jam. It's just not my jam. Algebra 2 is my jam. I love Algebra 2. I don't know why. It's weird. Okay, I learned all that just to forget it. I know, well, welcome. All right. Discrete math, that is you. Good job. Is this Algebra 2? This is, I want to say yes. I want to say like first semester they bring it in. But a lot of students I've seen have been dabbling in it with Algebra 1 as well. And that's usually like around third quarter, beginning of fourth, before they get bored with testing. They try to do some of this fun stuff. Hey! All right, in pre-calc? Really? You took this in pre-calc? Wow, that's a little... Okay. All right, that's interesting. And what state are you from, JB? Vector calc hurts every time. Oh, yeah. It's a special kind of hurt. The type that we can't mention on TikTok before we get banned. Oh, my word. All right. It doesn't change on this one because we didn't divide by a negative number. Okay, Shalom, that's all we did. Since we divided by a positive number, it stayed the same. But over here, we divided by a negative number, so we had to flip that inequality sign. Okay, all right. 7th grade Algebra 1 in California. Yep, that makes sense. Certain parts of California will do this in Algebra 1. Certain parts. Puerto Rico? Yes. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Let's try one more. Well, I think we get it. How about this? How about if I show you some graphs and you tell me what the interval notation will be? Let's do that, right? Let's have some fun with this. I'm sorry, I'm so cheesy tonight. So crazy. All right, so because we know we have some people that like to look far, far ahead. I don't know why I can't zoom, but hold on. Give me a moment. I'm going to see if I can adjust this. Slide this bad boy over. Slide that bad boy over. And see if you can tell me this. All right, I'll just hold it. It'll be fine. It's not like I can't hold the phone. The day that I can't just hold the phone for minutes or an hours at a time, there's something seriously wrong with me. All right. What would be my interval notation? Okay, let's stick with the interval notation. Raisin in the sun, how are you? Welcome in. Thank you. How did I come with it? Yep. Okay. Now, key part. Maybe I should even talk about both. Maybe I should. So we have 1 and we have 5. So we basically have like endpoints. Okay, the lowest always goes first. They're open circles. Okay, I don't know why I keep saying open circles, because the circle's open. All right, so it's not including the 1 and the 5. So they're both going to be parentheses. And I know it's tough because when you look at it, you see like an ordered pair. So you really have to take a look at your directions if you ever do any kind of testing. Look to see if they mention the words interval notation. Okay, make sure you take a look for that. Now, what about this one? Hey, Pog, how are you? Yep, it's not included. Mm-hmm. Good, good. Hey, Michael. Good. I was first. Oh, the cops. Bien. Good. What they say. All right, excellent. So we have 2 and we have 7. The lowest number is 2. Then we have 7. Since they are dots, they're closed in, so that means we're dealing with brackets. So now that when you take a test, you're like, why is these ordered pairs with brackets? Now you know they're not just ordered pairs. All right, how about this one? Okay. So Deanna, good with the 2 and the... Oh, that was a 7. Yeah, make sure we put brackets around those from the previous one. So Katie's saying -3, -1, parenthesis bracket, -3, -1, parenthesis bracket, parenthesis bracket, parenthesis bracket. Loving this. Parenthesis bracket. Nice. Excellent. All right. -3, -1, not included, included. Okay, easy enough. Let's see. Sorry, bouncing all over the place. How about this one? Only got a few more left. What about this one? Okay, negative 3 and 4. Parenthesis bracket, negative 3 and 4, parenthesis bracket, negative 3 and 4, parenthesis brackets. Yes, there she is, Nicole. I was wondering, I was like, when is she going to come on here? All right, good, good. Unbounded at negative 3, but bounded at 4. Good. All right, for just a moment, before we get to the next one, can we do a little celebration for Miss Nicole? Woohoo! She passed her GED today. Yes, can we celebrate it up? Can we celebrate it up? Yes. Yup. She did it. Celebrate it up for her. Trying really hard. Keep coming to the lives. Asking questions. I think we met up once, if I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, I'm really happy for you. Do it up. All right, so now, no more boundaries. There's no more boundaries. So whatever you want to go and go after it. No more. All right, so here's my thing. If you're thinking about getting your GED, I don't know, Nicole, you asked me. You let me know. Because you know me, I like to volunteer people. Because I know how hard it is to type all these, how it was, what was the experience like. It's always best to have someone that's actually taken the GED to kind of I can give you a roundabout based off of what I've heard. But here's my thing. You got a person that passed it. You want to pass it. Maybe you guys should follow each other, have a little conversation, and find out a little bit about the test. I don't know. That just seems like common sense to me. If that's what you want to do and that's what you want to achieve, go ahead and do it. So, yes, I will. Okay. Thank you. So, meet up. Don't be creepy. Just ask about the GED. If you overstep, then you can delete them. Go ahead. Because, sometimes some people just be acting a little too cray-cray. All right? So, make sure you follow each other. Ask her questions. How was the test? What was it like? Was there a lot of the stuff that Audrey was saying, or was she lying? All that kinds of fun stuff. All right, I have 2 more. And then I just want to present one thing if you want to stick around, and then we're done. Yeah, we're going to try to get a decent night's sleep tonight because this is crazy. So what do we think for number 5? Interval notation. Take a look. Okay, Danny's saying it's going to be a bracket of 5 to infinity. Okay, bracket of 5, so positive infinity, bracket of 5, positive infinity, bracket of 5, positive infinity. Excellent, excellent. Yep, the lowest number. Good. Lowest number was 5. The highest number, since it has an arrowhead, that means it's going all the way to positive infinity. All right. Since it has a dot here, we're closing it and including 5. But infinities, regardless if it's positive or negative, always, gets the bracket. The parenthesis. All right. And beyond. Is the show renewed? Film girl, is the show renewed? What do you mean? Is it going completely over my head? All right. So let's do one more time. What do we got? There was inequalities on the test. Okay. Yep. And I think that was like the last thing we were doing before you took the test. Crazy. All right. So I'm seeing infinity 0. I'm seeing negative infinity 0. I'm seeing negative infinity 0. I'm seeing 0, negative infinity. Okay. Yeah, it was. Okay. Seeing negative infinity 0. Okay. So a little discrepancy. Was there anything on graphing? Like linear equations? Infinity and 0. Okay. Got negative infinity and 0. Yes. Yep. Yep. Those are those 4-point questions. I'm telling you, those are 4-point questions. Do you do TSI? I actually do. I actually do now. At first I was like, I didn't know what the heck a TSI was. And then I looked it up and went, oh yeah, I do that. All right. So now, remember, the lowest number goes first. Yes, functions. The lowest number goes first. So right now, since it's going all the way to negative infinity, that means my lowest number has to be negative infinity, not infinity. Okay? Positive infinity is over here. This is going to negative infinity, all the way up to 0. So since it's dealing with a negative infinity, we got a parenthesis. Then at the 0, it's open. So that's also a parenthesis as well. Okay. All right. So negative infinity. There you go. Yep. All right. How's everyone feeling? I mean, for some people, it probably wasn't so mind-blowing, but for others, it might be an accomplishment. You're probably like, dude, I haven't seen this since I was a fetus. Now, now it's on my FYP. I can't escape it. All right. Let me see if I can put my bad boy back in here. So, if anything, I just wanted you to know, I have been working on something. Let me see if I can put this back on here and to kind of show you. So if you like how some of these pages went, okay, with the dots and everything like that, I actually created this book. I know, I'm going to keep talking about this book until the day I shuffle, okay? So we basically have a way that we can do our formulas. We have slopes. Okay, we have our steps here, some examples on this side, as well as also on the grid side as well. So you can do all your notes through here, but it's not just 100 pages of notes. It also has, to help you out with factoring, it has a factor chart. From not just from 1 to 100, like it is over here, it goes from 1 to 200. This book is really designed for advanced students, not just elementary school kids that are using notebooks as a journal. This is really focusing on the math, okay? So when I take a look here, we're looking at some of the verbiage that you see on a lot of word problems. So it helps you with the translation. Then you also have your rules of integers, addition, subtraction, and then multiplication and division. Then you also have like your linear equations. Okay, we're going to be working on point slope. I decided to switch it up and I'm going to do that tomorrow, which I'll be going live tomorrow at 1 p.m. Yes, it's going to be Friday. So I'm at 1 p.m. If you want to come and see another late night one, that's going to be 8:30 on Saturday and Sunday. So back to the book. We have our properties of exponents, order of operations. Then we also have our Pythagorean theorem, SOHCAHTOA, lot of trig, and the unit circle. And there's a couple other things as well with volume and surface area. So it's not just a place to have your notes, okay? You can have like a whole bunch of notes, But then if you want copies of my notes, ooh, I know. If you really want to get copies of my notes, it is called, as soon as I can grab it, Audrey's Notes. Okay, my copy is slowly going to come in. So with Audrey's Notes, it's actually a book of all of my notes that I've compiled on TikTok from February the 5th. Can't even remember my dates. February 5th to basically last week. So that was books 1, 2, and 3. And what happens is you get a color copy of the exact notes that I did live on TikTok. Now, if you notice, these copies, they all have a QR code on them. So what happens is you scan the QR code, and what happens, it takes you directly to the live that's connected to the notes. So you can use it for, helping with small form of information. Maybe someone's taking summer school and they're basically learning on their own. So they might need some additional assistance. You can use it for additional assistance. You can use it for mediation. You can use it for advancement. It's completely up to you. All right. So we basically have all the copies of my notes there. And you can get that on Books by Audrey Codner. I have my own bookstore. Look at me go. I know, it's all kinds of Kookaboo Johnson. I will put the link in as soon as I can find it, because I've been doing so much work today. Let me see if I can find it. I had it up, and then amazing thing happened. I had 2 people place their orders. I was like, look at this. Where are we? Live. There we go. Here we are. Okay, so the link will be, it's in the chat right now. Quadratic equation, is that algebra 3? No, quadratic equation, that's algebra 2. That's algebra 2 when we go more into factoring. And type infinity. Oh, okay. How did you get the infinity symbol? With the emojis. Okay. There we go. All right, this may be a crazy question. How you put... Okay, so we got all that. Remember this in school, but what part of our life is this necessary? Now, Kenny, that's true. Here's the go. Look, it depends on what you're trying to do with your life. Okay? And I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep preaching it. I don't know what exactly you're going to be doing with your life, but there's going to be times, depending on what career you're going to choose. We as human beings, we on average change our jobs and careers like 10 times in a lifetime. So I'd rather you say, hey, I've seen this before, and whatever you're about to jump into, versus what the hell is this? I don't ever want you to ever say that, because once you say that, someone already wants to put some kind of authority on you, and I really don't want that to happen to you. All right, so it's always nice to kind of know and to think and process and strengthen your brain. It's almost like exercise after you do this for a while. Like, do I lose weight in my brain? Not so much. But at least it gives you opportunities to think and to exercise and be able to make choices and decisions rather quickly. All right. So that's why. Okay. I know it's kind of hard because everyone else. All right. Yes. Okay. I did. I emailed you or I texted you. You wanted tutoring. I texted you this afternoon. Check your messages. Okay? Make wrinkles in your brain. Okay? All right. Yeah, I didn't ignore you. It took me a minute because I'm trying to get all these seniors with their final exams, and that was a lot today. And it was very emotional because a lot of those kiddos I had for 3 years. And some of them I had for, 6 years. And I was just kind of like, winging it at that time. I wasn't being serious with my business. I was just helping them out. So it was kind of an emotional day. It took a lot out of me. But anywho, here's the other thing. Now, starting, and I'm going to start this up and I'm going to share this and finally get everything situated, that I am starting where is it? Here it is. And let me see if I can do this. Zoop. It's so much easier this way. And I wanted to see if I can have you see me. Wait, I think we could. Let's try this. Now that I want it, now I can't get it. There I am. Hi. You're probably like, whoa, we get to see her. Like, I know. Hey, how you doing? All right, so this is what I started. I know, started in Rock Band. So this is what's happening. I've noticed that during my lives, a lot of people that have been going to community college or just college in general or just doing any kind of advancement, they have been struggling, especially my lovely seasoned adults that are going back to school. You haven't done this stuff in forever, and then all of a sudden you get completely thrown in. Hey, everyone. You get completely thrown in, and all of a sudden you feel defeated, and I don't want you to feel defeated. So what I want to do is to help people get them ready for the fall. And in order to do that, I want to do a course, and it's a 12-week. And I know Lynette and I were chit-chatting and said 8, but it's going to be 12 because I really want to cover it, not just only for people that are getting their GED. It's also a lot of the concepts that's on ASVAB and as well as those T's. Any kind of high school equivalent test, because there are some, they have special names for different states, but that's basically the same. Okay, dealing with a lot with the algebra component. So I wanted to kind of share a little bit of something with y'all. So I am starting a course, as it could say, starting June 10th, which is a Tuesday. So this is going to be happening every Tuesday and Thursday. So just basically saying that I'm here to help. I totally get how you just feel like math. I'm like really in your face. Just really want to get math something that you really want to like conquer. You want to achieve greatness on it. So with that, it's not a cram course. It's not one of those courses that everyone seems to be doing like, oh, it's 8 weeks and I'm going to jam everything inside. And if you get it, great. If you don't, that's all right. I got paid anyway. I don't care. That's not me. I don't know. I have a heart. I know it's going to make me crazy, but this is how I do things, okay? I want you to be supported. I don't want you to just feel like I'm at a boot camp and I'm just, checking in and checking out. I really want you to take the time to understand, to apply, and then to see how you can actually apply this to your actual test that you're going to be taking. GED, ASVAB, or even the T's. So with that, this is what you're going to get. All right, so I'm going to see if I can get myself out the way. So we have like live Zoom, again, twice a week for 2 weeks. So my goal is probably the end of August that we're going to be doing. There will be replays. So just in case you're like, Audrey, we already planned a vacation. That's all right. You're going to be able to see the replays. Just like here, all my replays are on my YouTube channel, which I'll show you after this. Then I do give you homework, but is it going to be like 20 problems? No. I'm going to give you like a short amount of homework. I'm going to respect your time because it is your summer just as well as mine. And then some test taking strategies, as well as, connecting it to real life situations as best I can so you can have a better understanding. Then also there's an opportunity for you guys to get like the test prep version of the Audrey's notes. So all of my notes, you can get copies of it. And then basically no stress, no pressure. I just want you to learn and to understand. So when it's time for you to take that test, you can go in there and just really just nail it and just pass it and keep it on moving. All right. So Who's this for? Anyone that's going after the GED, the ASVAB, or also the T's, okay? And maybe if you're just doing regular algebra, you can go there for regular algebra. You might have a kid that's going to go into high school math and you're not too certain, they can come in as well, okay? So here's the pricing, because this is not free, because I have to sit here. Because after I'm done with this, I'm going to show you the behind the scenes of what I do after my lives with you guys. So you can see I need more sleep in my life because I'm constantly staying up. I'm doing the emails. I'm making, believe it or not, text messages because I can't do phone calls because it's too late. But trying to do all those things. So yes. Can you explain how to do logs? I can explain how to do logs, but not right now. Which there is a possibility, but if anything, I do have tutoring sessions and you can, sign up for that. And yes, you figure out how to do a poll. Yeah, that will be next. Because I finally got my business part. I still can't do TikTok shop. That's a whole issue right there. But if anything, we have the two different brands. Boom. Okay? It's either going to be the 147, which I understand. Some people don't have that. There's a reason why some of us are going into the military and trying to do our things. We're trying to better ourselves. So we're trying to make more money, right? So normally this course, I used to have it for $425. And I was like, I can't do that to y'all. That's too much. So I'm making it as easy as possible. So now we also have 2 payments. Okay, you have to make those 2 payments. All right, it doesn't make a payment on Monday and a payment on Wednesday. No, I'm going to give you time. So that's basically what it is, and the breakdown. In addition to all of this, as soon as I can get everything situated. Okay. So if you want one-to-one tutoring, you're also getting at a discounted price because, hey, you're already paying all this money for the course. So you're getting it at a way discounted price as well. So what a couple people are saying, I pulled some from the lives and I pulled some from some of my tutoring students. And actually a couple people that already passed. And maybe Lacole, I might get you to do another one as well. So if you want to register for your spot, do it now, because I'm thinking about raising prices, but that's just cool. I'll probably do it anyway. But I really want to get my numbers in by June the 1st. Okay, so right now, today's the 23rd. So you got a week to meditate. Think, is this something that can be vital? Because my thing is, once these classes start, a lot of these free lives are going to be very minimal, all right? Because I have to pay my mortgage. And not saying that I live in Taj Mahal, but still, you still got to pay bills, okay? So that is what I'm basically going to be doing. So I don't know. Hold on. Let's see if I can get myself out of here, if it's at all possible. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know. Oops, probably not. All right, let me see if I can get out enhancement. Probably dual. Nope, I can't. All right, it's just me. Hi. So if anything, so just in case you don't sure, I think this is not reversed. Oh, it's reversed. Never mind. I'll just switch it this way. Yeah. All right. So, again, my lives. I know you're seeing here. Here's the hand. There you go. All right. So, if you want to subscribe to my YouTube channel, you can. All of my lives are on my YouTube channel. Okay. It's right on a playlist. Enjoy. Knock yourself out. All my live schedules on Saturdays and Sundays is 8:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday is at 9:30, and Friday is at 1. Now, again, as I mentioned, I do private tutoring. I definitely have some spots open. Okay, math notebooks. If you want to get your own copy of the math notebooks or Audrey's notes, go ahead and go to Books by Audrey Codner. You can do the on-demand courses of GED, ASVAB. If you don't want to do the course, trust me, you have support this way as well. Okay, all you have to do is just go to my website at acgmathtutoring.com. All right. That's all I got for today. What is the website's name? Whoop. acgmathtutoring.com. And also, there's a link in my bio. All right. Your unknown cat. Name suggestion. Michael, here's my thing. You can suggest any name that you want with this cat. It's a cat. Cat just do what they want to do. They just said that is not my name and they just keep moving. They just care about food. All right. Awesome. Good. So if you know of anyone else that is interested, yep, $6 a session. It really is. It's a bargain. All right. So now the person that wants logs, is that person Metro Boom Room? Are you still here? And like, if so, what do you want with the logs? Okay. And for those that are here, here's some awesome people that I really think you guys should follow. I say this at every live. If you're a nurse, I really think and suggest that you should follow a blessed RN. She knows how to break down the dosage calculations without doing a whole heck of a lot of math. So I would suggest to follow her. If you want another person to help with the T's, the ASVAB, and GED, possibly during the day, you also have Miss Taylor at Impact Math 19. Okay, she goes on usually at 1 p.m. Central Time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Then I mentioned a chemistry tutor, Professor TK. And also my friend Lynette, Learning with Lynette, she's here. She teaches how to add, subtract, multiply, divide, any kind of math, basically, on an abacus. All right? You guys need to check her stuff out, man. And she has books on TikTok Shop. Okay, awesome. And then if you have an elementary school kid or you're thinking about going to homeschooling and you need or just a little assistance and or guidance in that, you can go to my friend Nancy. She's called the Online Elementary Tutor. Okay, definitely give her a little shout out. So if there's other things or other topics that you need assistance on, if you want calculus, I got a guy. I just need for him to get his stuff together and get his butt on TikTok. Because every time I turn around, someone's always asking me about calculus. And I'm like, I got a guy, right? So if you need any assistance, just definitely go there. Not a problem. Okay, I did give you a good review on your website. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. All right, I really do appreciate that. I appreciate you guys all coming in and supporting as best I can, as I'm still here. Hi. All right, so thank you so much for all your time and attention and all the likes and all the gifts and everything that you guys are doing for me. I really do appreciate that. I know I'm probably going to see if I can do more of the duels, but you know, who needs all this? This is all my site. This is my room. I'm actually going to be giving you guys a behind the scenes look. I did a recording not so long ago, so I can show you everything that's going on in here, and you'll see why I usually go to bed like around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, sleep for a little bit for a nap, wake up, and get started all over again the next day. All right. I'm going to sign off. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate whatsoever. Message me, okay? You can go and just click on the link. You can go onto my website. If you have a question and it really is math related and you need some assistance with it, do not hesitate to ask. All right? Really do, because I really want you to win and I want you to do well in this thing called life. All right. Very weird angle. All right, so I will talk to you guys later. Have a lovely evening, and I will see you tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. All right, take care, guys.